Cathay Pacific to cut global capacity by 30% amid coronavirus epidemic.
This is Reuters now.
A cruise ship in Japan carrying nearly 4,000 people has found cases of the coronavirus. Several people have already tested positive, but the number could still rise as hundreds await their results. Healthy passengers are now in quarantine on the ship and will have to stay on for 14 days. Sick passengers, meanwhile, were taken to a medical facility by the Japanese Coast Guard. News of the outbreak is spreading fast across the world. At its epicenter in Wuhan, local media have said buildings like an exhibition center and a gym are being transformed into makeshift hospitals. It comes as the death toll nears 500, while around 25,000 people have been infected. Video obtained by Reuters showed hospitals in Wuhan at maximum capacity. Long lines of people were waiting outside a local hospital. Inside, meanwhile, the eyewitness video showed a crowded waiting room as the fast-spreading outbreak shows no signs of slowing, spreading to every region of China. Its capital, Beijing, home to 22 million people, has turned into a ghost town. Authorities are ordering people to stay home to try to contain the outbreak. Videos from the sprawling metropolis show empty subways and deserted shopping malls, fueling concerns about the knock-on effect to businesses and the wider economy. Outside the mainland, 2 U.S. airlines suspended flights to Hong Kong, following the first virus death confirmed there on Tuesday. American and United Airlines both announced they were suspending flights after this week, and Hong Kong authorities warned of a significant risk of it spreading within the community.
So we have to closely monitor the situation.
But among the grim news of rising death tolls and quarantines, inside Wuhan, there was a message of hope.
Hello everyone, my name is Sunny.
A 9-year-old living in lockdown urged people to push on.
We shall overcome as a city. We shall overcome as a country. We shall overcome as a people. 加油武汉，加油中国。Thank you.
The Irish Nationalist Party Sinn Féin has surged to the top of an opinion poll in what could be a major breakthrough for the former political wing of the IRA, just 5 days ahead of Ireland's election, on a platform calling for a referendum on uniting the island. Support for left-wing Sinn Féin came out at 25%, ahead of both centre-right Fianna Fáil and Leo Varadkar's governing party Fine Gael. Both parties have flat-out refused to govern with Sinn Féin because of their IRA links and opposing economic policies. Ultimately, Sinn Féin, headed up by Mary Lou MacDonald, has rejected the idea of entering into a coalition government without a commitment to immediately start planning for the unification referendum, a vote it would push to be held within 5 years. But analysts say Sinn Féin is unlikely to emerge as the largest party. It simply doesn't have enough candidates running, they say. To have a shot, it would need to get nearly all of its 42 candidates elected to the 160-seat chamber.
Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said Turkey and Russia should resolve differences over the conflict in Syria's Idlib without anger, after a deadly flare-up in violence challenged the fragile cooperation between Moscow and Ankara. The two countries support opposing sides in Syria's nearly 9-year war. In a phone call on Tuesday, Putin and Erdogan highlighted the need to follow Russia-Turkey agreements on Idlib that envisage increasing cooperation to neutralize extremists, the Kremlin said. Turkey's report on the same phone call said that Erdogan told Putin that Turkey will use its self-defense rights in the event of another attack on Turkish military personnel in Syria. At the United Nations on Tuesday, Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called for an end to hostilities to keep the situation from getting out of control.